Hi everybody, this is Dr. Nichols-Boyle. I'm going to take you through how to create your blog in Blogger and how to set up at least some of the basic functions like your background, your colors, your font choices, and your layout. So again, this will probably change along the way as you focus in more on your subject and get your title and description and maybe change your address as well. But for now, this will keep you getting the basics. So you will start, you can follow along by looking at the instructions on the paper instructions as well, and use this as you go along. You'll start by going to blogger.com and clicking on create your blog. And that will take you to a page to sign in. So if I click on this here, if you already have a Google account, it will ask you to choose one of those, or you can say use another account and set up a new one here. And because I have already gotten into it, I'm going to close out of that and go into what happens next. So once you choose it, you will be taken to this screen here. Make everything a little bit bigger so we can see better. And it'll ask you to choose a name for your blog. And as I said here, you can change this later, but just try to keep it something appropriate to your topic you think you want to use. And if you do something too generic, you can always make it more specific later. So I'm just going to make this Writing for the Web 2020. Next. And the address, it can't be something somebody else has used. So if I try something kind of easy like Writing for the Web, it's going to tell me right away this blog address is not available. So sometimes it works if you put your initials in there. I've done this before, so of course that's not going to work either. But I might do instead 2020, and that one is available. So let's see if I did, yeah, I'll do it like this, Writing for the Web 2020. Perfect. Okay, and then I will hit save. And after that, your blog has been created. So congratulations, you have your first blog, or for some of you anyway, but you have a blog. Now, what does it look like? You might have no idea. So if you want to get a sense of what it looks like before you start messing with things, you can just go to the View Blog link down here, and that will show you the basic layout. Don't love it. Obviously a little blank, but I feel like I want some more tabs or things like this, but this gives me an idea. So I can just go back then to the main thing. I can also see what the basic layout is here, and they have a couple sidebars and the main things here, and a page body footer at the top. Not my favorite layout either, but I can change all of these things, and at least I know what I'm starting with. So in order to make any changes, where you really want to go for almost everything is theme. So theme would be your choice here. And then as you go through, you will choose what theme you like the best. And it starts with Contempo Light. You could, if you like that one, just start customizing there. But go through, see what you like. The colors are all changeable. They're just giving you different options as a kind of default light, dark, pink, aqua, whatever, throughout. Some things to kind of keep in mind, you can always change these templates later and you don't lose your content, unlike some other programs. So if you don't end up liking it, it's not the end of the world. But in order to kind of make sure you have your branding and your name prominent, I would recommend ones that show that profile and like this about me, and have some room for putting some things on the side for links and things a lot of that nature. So I'm going to do simple. I think this is one of the easiest ones that works with what I like. I, of course, love books, so I'm going to try this literate one. And again, there's different ones. There's more of these. There's dynamic views. There's other things, so you can mess around with it. I'm just going to choose that one for now. Okay. So once I've chosen my template, it will give you some options. You can preview it. So you can see, yeah, I think I like the look of that. Don't love the colors, but I could play with that. You can see how it looks on a desktop, a tablet, and a smartphone to get a sense of that. And you can also full screen, rotate the screen. So you can play around with how you think that looks as well. But I think I do like this one, so I'm going to say apply for now. Some gadgets may become visible. That's okay. Got it. And this layout section is where you would later add gadgets or apps or different things. We'll go over those kinds of things a little bit later. So now that I have it, I want to customize some of the colors, the font, other things like that. So I will choose Customize. Now that I am here in Customize, I want to go through the main different functions over here. We'll talk about setting up your About Me later. I've already set that up obviously previously, so it will show up. You might just have a blank thing here for now. This template comes with a background image. Some of them will not. You can remove that image or you can change the image. You don't have to have a background image at all. It could just be a blank color, depending on how busy it is. Be very careful about using something from your own that will, from your own collection that will not work as well. So if you do want to kind of think about background images, if you go to change image here, they have some default ones that work well. So you can go to different things. Say if you're doing something about food and drink, you might, I like the burger one, or I want to do some healthy food, so I like the greens. And anytime you choose something, you'll be able to kind of to preview it. And you can always change that as well. So I'm going to cancel that for now, but that gives you an idea. And then the main color theme. So they'll give you some default different ones. I kind of like these sort of purple colors. Yeah. And it changed that on me, so I would have to go back to change this. And if I don't like it, so I accidentally changed that, I can just reset background and color, right? So that's an easy fix to any of these. So change color theme, I'm going to go with the purple for now. And the other thing, again, is you'll be able to change this background color and this here later. But this gives it the general kind of color frames that I want. Okay. And it doesn't change too much to make it customized there. So this gives you a range of colors. You can also adjust the widths. You're really not going to know too much right now how big you want the different sidebars until you start playing around with it and seeing text on it. So we might go back to this later. The layout is something you can choose now as well. I like to have not have the text so crunched to the side, so I like to have my a little bit of tabs on either side, and I might make that middle part bigger later. And I like to have one big footer at the bottom in case I want to put something there. So that's what I'm going to choose. Again, you can play around with this. Then the next thing is advanced, and this is an important section. So the advanced section is where you will choose your page text, your colors, your link colors, and those are the major colors. So page text is what it defaults to deciding. When you're choosing fonts, don't go too crazy. You want this to be readable. You can use a little bit of personality, say, especially for something like the header, but for the page text especially, this is going to get pretty crowded soon, so you don't want to go too nuts. I would say pretty much when you go before web fonts are good choices for the main page text. After that, many of these like Calligraphy, Calligraph's okay, but Cherry Cream Soda, it just gets difficult to read when it's in a large block of text. So I'm going to stay with the default here. I think Georgia. 14 points a good start. Again, you can change this later. And I'm not going to keep for the main page text, I don't want to do bold or italic. I can always add in those as accents later. And then for the theme colors, again, I think I'll go more in this kind of range here. Oh, this is a text color, sorry. The text color you want to keep plain. You want something to contrast against the background as well, right? And again, if you make mistakes, you can always clear advanced. But yeah, black shows up well for the main thing here. Or you could go a little bit lighter. But generally, a gray or a black is going to be what you want. Yeah, I think black. All right, so that's a page text. And then there are actually, which is kind of hard at first, there are other drop downs here. So you have backgrounds as well. This is the outer background. It's not going to make a difference for me because I have a background image, but otherwise this is where you would choose those colors. And if you don't like your theme colors, you can hit add and go to some other selections as well. So for example, the main background here, this is this lighter color, and that's the theme color they've chosen. But I could go a different color. And see, what happens here is that's too dark. Um, it doesn't show up the text as well, especially like the home, those kinds of things. So you want to stay with good contrast, dark on light, light on dark. So I will stay with it. That's pretty good. If I wanted a different one, I could go to add. I can select some of the other colors here, like a light gray instead, maybe. Or I could select, more plain white. I feel that's a little harsh. So I kind of like the one that they chose already. I think that works well. Yeah, something along those lines. Okay. And then the header background, I like that. I think a little darker would be nice. And let's say if I didn't like any of these colors, again, you can go to the add section and you can choose any of the colors here. And that might seem a little bit limiting, but you can also add a custom color. So if you click on the plus button here, you can kind of scroll through to get to the range of colors that you want. So let's say I wanted maybe a blue. And you can kind of see a little bit there. If you want to get more specific, you grab this little guy here and you kind of go through, keep an eye on the A there, and you'll see that changing color, and you get to the color that you want to make it more specific. So maybe somewhere around there. And then if you save that, you'll have your new custom color. I still want to go back to this, but that gives you an idea of how you can change it. Again, you can always clear advanced changes if you have a problem. So that's backgrounds. Then we have links. So you would keep these transparent. You keep it not transparent, because if you make it transparent, they're going to blend into the background. So we see the problem there. So we don't want transparency with something like links. Again, I think I'd like to stick with my theme here. I've been keeping in this purple, so I'll make you can see the links colors change here. I'll make them that same kind of purple color to stay consistent. You don't want to use too many different colors. You want to keep it clean. Don't confuse the reader. Don't draw the eye too much away. The visited colors should be different so people can tell. I maybe don't love these colors. Maybe I'd want more of a pink. We'll kind of go in with mine a little bit better. So I'm going to do the add and go to, you could try this one. I like that pink, but it's a little too muted against the background. So again, I think I'm going to try something different here. I'll go into the pink range and play around until I can like this about there, I think. Save. So that's the color I have. I like that for now. Hover color is the color when someone is hovering over a link. Personally, I think that I just keep this the same as the actual link color. I don't see a need to have a different color when you're hovering over the link. It just makes it clear, and sometimes that hover color is different. It can blend into the background in a confusing way. So that's what I suggest there. And then after links, you have blog title. So this is again where you would choose your blog title, and this could be you can give a little bit more personality to the blog title as long as it's readable, because it's just going to be that one thing, and you want to make it, of course, bigger than the rest of the text. So they're defaulting to Georgia 48. I like that. It's kind of nice, and here maybe you can see how that's a little bit harder to read, so don't love that. You could go courier. It shows you all the different options here. Times New Roman. Yeah. And again, you can mess with the font size as well. So in any event, you can try different things here. I think actually, again, for now, I like the main one that they chose. So I'll go back to Georgia for now, and I can always change this later. All right, so that's the basics of it. Most important thing to remember after this is that you hit save. So here we go. We have save. Oops, I'm going to go ahead and quit out of that. Trying to quit it instead of that. Anyway, and now my options have been saved. If you do try to get out of this without saving, it will prompt you as well, which is good. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. And I've seen the preview here, but you might want to check again, just view your blog, see if you like it. Okay, this is much better. It looks a little small here on this screen, but you have to play around with different screens to see if it really appears that small, and you could mess with the width options later. Now I might get rid of this search this blog, or some of these other things. Okay, so that's my main blog theme. Now that you've set all of those basic things up, you want to go into the settings and set your permissions. So your permissions here, this is also where you could change your title and add a description. These are things we'll get into more next week. And your blog address you could change here as well. Then you'd have to send me a new invite. But permissions is where we're going to go to set your permissions for who can view this. It's unlikely people will find it even if it is public because you don't have any content yet, but you can change this if you want. It's completely up to you how you want to control your blog. Obviously, everyone in the class has to have access to it. So if you do want to make it more private, you will still have to invite the readers from the class, and I will send out those emails once I have them from everybody as well next week. So reader access, you don't want to say authors would be other people could contribute to your blog. So you want to keep it readers, custom readers, save if you want to make it private. If you're keeping it public, you could just send me your blog address and that's it. Otherwise, if you want to keep it private for now, you can go to custom readers. There are some advantages to keeping it public we'll talk about later in the way it displays, but for now, we'll just make this choice. And then you go to invite more readers to make sure that you can actually allow me to see it, and then in the future you can invite others. So for my email, you're going to do sfnboyle@gmail.com, and then you would hit send. Then it will send me an invite, and I will accept it and be able to view your blog. Okay. And then the last thing is, if you completely hate what you've created and you want to do something new, and you just don't want to have this one anymore, then you can go down here to the bottom of the settings section in the manage blog and just hit remove your blog, and it will let you delete it. All right, so that's the basics for now, and hopefully that helps you get started. And of course, let me know if you have any questions. Hope you're having fun blogging.